What's up, everybody? I am Karen Marie. This is Beyond the Melody, and today we are going to be talking about 5 things you need to keep in mind as you are hunting for your house. Now, if you're looking for a home, if you're already in that process of the search, stop. These are some things that really helped me and my husband as we were in the market to find a house. I'm sitting in the house. We built the house from the ground up. It was such an exciting process, but we learned some things along the way. So if you're interested in finding out what these things are, and if you're interested in more videos like this, don't forget to give this one a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss anything about music, about homeownership, just about life in general. I'm here to do it all. So let's get started. So back in March of 2022, my husband and I put in an offer for a home that we wanted to build. Now, if you guys remember how 2022 was, it was very, very up and down in terms of the market. The market was horrible. The interest rates were great, but it kept throwing some of us into bidding wars. And we were in that number, you guys. It was so hard. I think we probably put in on 10 or 11 offers on homes, and we just kept getting beat out by people who were offering more. I mean, people were offering ridiculous amounts of money on houses, and we were like, okay, we just had to walk away from things. Which brings me to my first point. I really feel like the number one thing that you need to have as you are looking for a home is a realtor. I know this is highly debatable. I know there are so many of you out there who are smart and you know how to do these things. For us, it just made more sense because we didn't know all the legalities. Your realtor is going to be able to save you some time. Your realtor has connections that you don't have. Your realtor knows lenders. They know the ins and outs. They put together your contracts for you, and they know all the loopholes. Our realtor, I'll tell you a quick story about her. Bobby Eubanks, she owns the Housing Mentors. She and her husband. It's a great company. If you live in North Carolina, I highly recommend that you give her a call. I'll put her information in the description below. But she was able to keep my husband and I from making decisions on houses that we really didn't want, but that we were just going to settle for because it was a crazy market. And if we were going to get a house, we needed to get it now. She called us up one day after we decided to put in an offer on a house that her husband took us to see. And she said, listen, you guys don't really want this house. We're not in a hurry. We're not in a desperate situation right now. I don't want you to put in an offer for something. You get the house and then you regret it later because you could have gotten something that you really want. Now, the house was nice. It was nice. It had a lot of things that I wanted. It had a big front wraparound porch and it had a great back porch. The back porch was screened in. It had a fenced in backyard. It had a big old pool in the backyard that we were going to have to get rid of, an above ground pool. But we were like, okay, well, maybe we can do that. But it wasn't hitting all the things that my husband wanted to hit. It wasn't really hitting all the things that I wanted to hit, but it was a good enough house, so we were going to put in an offer on it. And she was like, stop. Just stop. We're not desperate, you guys. Let's just hold on for the house that you want. We can wait.
Don't dim your lifestyle, up your income. Don't.
I love that.
Don't ever.
And that is the kind of realtor that you want. You want somebody that's not going to be just looking at, oh, I can get this money right now. They want to get this house. Let me put an offer in on it, even though it's not what they really want. You want somebody who really cares about you and about your family. And if you can find that, you have found a gem. Okay, point number 1 brings me to point number 2. If you are a couple and you're looking for a house, you have to be in agreement. Because one of my favorite scriptures in the Bible says, how can two walk together unless they agree? Now I'll tell you a quick little story about my husband and I. We found a house, and the only reason that I sent it to my husband was because it hit the square footage requirement that he had in his head. So I was like, okay, this is a win-win. We're going to go see this house. Looking at it online, it looked really good. But you guys know how it is. Photoshop make everything look good, right? So when we get to the house, we drove up on it. To me, it was a great location. I love the house, had a fenced in backyard, had my husband's square footage requirement. It had a living room, dining room. It had a family room. Then upstairs, it had a big bonus room in the center. And then it had the bedrooms all around the bonus room. For me, it was a great house. I loved it. The location was most important for me because of our commute. It was right off the highway. We could get on the highway and get to work in a reasonable amount of time. So we get there and we're looking at the house and we're walking through that house, you guys, and I can tell immediately. My husband goes around the house and he looks and he starts counting bathrooms. It's just me and my husband. My daughter's with us right now, but she's going to be leaving soon. It's me, my husband, and my dog. Why do we need more than 2.5 bathrooms? I to me, we just don't need 2.5 bathrooms. But for some reason, that was one of my husband's requirements. It didn't matter that it hit the square footage that he wanted. It didn't matter that it was right off the highway and we can get on there easily to get to work. It didn't matter that it had a fenced in backyard. It didn't matter that it had everything else. It was just missing a half a bath. You guys, this, I think we had probably one of the biggest arguments we have ever had in our whole entire relationship, because my husband didn't want this house and I did. So you have to be in agreement if you're a couple. Now, if it's just you and you can compromise on some things, then sometimes that's better. But if you're a couple, you cannot move forward on this stuff unless you absolutely agree with each other, okay? You have to agree. One can't get what one wants and the other one not get what they're, like this, to me, you can't, there can't be compromises. Like you just have to agree on everything, because this is something that you're going to be paying on for a number of years. You're getting into a mortgage. This is major, so you have to agree. This is a good segue to the third thing that you need to know. Do not fall in love with any house before you sign on the dotted line. You guys, if you fall in love with the home before you actually have it, as you're putting in an offer, and then you don't get the house, then the disappointment is just overwhelming. That happened to us. I fell in love with a house. I'm like, okay, this is the house we're good. This is our house. I believe that this is the house that God wants for us. Even the seller was there, and she was saying things to us like, God told me that a couple was gonna come and that this was gonna be the couple that was gonna buy this house. And she was just talking to us like we were that chosen couple. And I fell in love with it, and we put our offer in, and then we got that dreaded letter. We wanna thank you and your clients for your offer. Unfortunately, we've decided to go with another offer. I can't tell you how many times we heard that. After about the third or fourth time that happened to us, I realized I gotta stop falling in love with these houses. Where there's one house that I love, there's gonna be another house that's right for us that I love equally as much. So don't fall in love. Wait until your offer is accepted. Wait until everything checks out. Then fall in love. Then start making plans. Then start seeing yourself living there. Then start doing all the things you wanna do in your head until you move in. Okay, the fourth tip that you want to keep in mind as you're hunting for a house: stay within your budget. Now, you guys, I know you're going to find a house that you want, that you love, and if it's outside of your budget, you're setting yourself up for failure. Now, I had started keeping a spreadsheet like a couple years ago, maybe 3 years before we started looking at a house. And in that spreadsheet, I had all of our bills, you know, whatever our budget was, and I had what our rent was. And then I had another tab in the Google Sheet where this is a mortgage payment that we're willing to pay every month. And this is comfortable for us. We're still going to be able to go on our date nights when we want to go out. We're still going to be able to do all the things that we want to do because we're staying within our budget. Because listen, if you guys get into paying for something and every month you're living from paycheck to paycheck, what quality of life is that? You're going to start hating the house. You're going to start hating everything in it. You're going to start arguing with each other. And that is no way to live, you guys. It is not worth it. Do not spend all this time paying all this money, extra money, for a house that you really cannot afford. Okay, the fifth and final tip. Just went and asked my husband, hey, what's another tip that you would want to say? He said, don't settle. I kind of touched on this a little bit earlier when I was talking about our realtor, how she kept us from getting something that we didn't really want. But I want to hit on this again, you guys. You cannot settle. If you're not finding the house that you want, that's the house of your dreams right now, walk away. Because the last thing you want to do is settle for something that you don't really want, that doesn't have all the things in it that you want to have in it. I've seen so many videos that say, well, you know, you have to compromise on some things. You have to compromise on this. You have to compromise on that. While that may be true on some things, it's not necessarily true for everything. You don't want to settle. You're getting into 25, 30 years of your life, and you want to get what you really want. You want it to have the features in it that you want. Do not settle. You'll regret it later. So you guys, those are my tips. I hope this was helpful to you. It's not a super long video, but I hope you think about these things as you're looking for your home and you keep them at the forefront of your mind. You will thank me later. So in the coming weeks, I'm going to be making over some of the rooms in our new house because, of course, when you come in, the house is not exactly how you want it. I'm making it a home now. So I'm going to start with my living room. If you're interested in seeing that video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can see when I upload it. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you and happy house hunting. I wish you the best. Bye-bye.